Did you know the original title for Ghost in the Shell was always meant to be in English? Kokaku Kidotai, translated as Mobile Armored Riot Police, was the title made at the behest of Young Magazine staff to make author Masamune Shirow's then up-and-coming manga sound more flashy. In the standalone Complex Official Log 1 companion book, Koichi Yuri, first coordinator for Young Magazine, reflects on the early process of publishing Ghost in the Shell. After meeting face-to-face with the incredibly reclusive Shiro, Yuri remarked, "At that time, the content of Ghost in the Shell was already all in Mr. Shiro's head, and a massive amount of design and premise were facts to me. But with regards to the title, I did make one request. At first, Ghost in the Shell came from Mr. Shiro, but when I asked if he couldn't provide something more flashy, he came up with Kokaku Kidotai, but he was attached to Ghost in the Shell, and he asked that we include that as well, even if it was in small print. Thus the work's full title came to be known as Kokaku Kidotai, Ghost in the Shell. Ironically enough, however, the 1995 landmark film directed by Mamoru Oshii intentionally inverted the order of the titles, putting emphasis on what quickly became the more popular of the names among its fans. The movie quickly gained an international following, and according to the companion book, grabbed the #1 spot in video sales in America upon its release to the home video market. Ghost in the Shell was not only immensely popular, but also had a profound impact on the creative culture of Hollywood. Producer Joel Silver had gone on record saying that when the Wachowskis were first pitching their idea for The Matrix, they showed him Ghost in the Shell, saying, "We want to do that for real." Ghost in the Shell pays homage to several key works and notable schools of philosophy. Arthur Koestler's book, Ghost in the Machine, contains many of the core principles touched upon within the film's narrative, namely the concept of mind-body dualism. A brilliant mind in his own right, Koestler's seminal title was itself borrowed from British philosopher Gilbert Ryle, who is credited with coinage of the phrase "ghost in the machine." And Ryle's own postulations on the subject matter were based off of the father of modern philosophy, René Descartes' assertions concerning the mind-body problem. Ghost in the Shell incorporates these philosophies through the show's emphasis on ghosts, and raises the question of what differentiates a human being from a machine. The sequel film, Ghost in the Shell 2: Innocence, symbolically brings everything full circle when Batou remarks that Descartes saw no fundamental difference between animate and inanimate beings during a discussion about androids. The forensic analyst in this particular scene, Haraway, is a reference to real-world professor of biology Donna Haraway. Haraway, a contributor to the transhumanism and post-cyberpunk movement, is known for her firm belief that in order for women to really liberate themselves from a patriarchal society, they should devote themselves to technology and its applications. So much so that she herself has been quoted as saying, "I'd rather be a cyborg than a goddess." As much as Ghost in the Shell is about fantastic scientific possibilities and philosophical implications, it is also filled with religious overtones and references. The Tree of Life, riddled with bullet holes during the first film's climax, is a long-standing motif of Judaism, which has since been utilized by other theologies, such as Christianity, to depict humanity's place in the universe. Mamoru Oshii also used this concept of a heavenly hierarchy in his previous work, Angel's Egg. Innocence makes a direct reference to the Jewish folklore of the Golem, an artificially created being designed to protect people, but has no free will of its own. In many traditional accounts, the Golem is given life by having the Hebrew word for truth, Imayeth, inscribed on its forehead. Conversely, if a simple change is made to the word Imayeth to form Mayeth, which means death, the Golem becomes inanimate. This legend was utilized by the Major as an esoteric clue to warn Batou that when he entered Kim's mansion, he would find no truth inside. And finally, one of the most notable references to a religious source comes during the final moments of the first film, when the Major quotes the passage of 1 Corinthians 13:11 from the Bible in response to Batou's question about her newfound identity. "When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things." Thanks for watching today's episode. We're Did You Know Anime, the anime trivia resource. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and Facebook for all the latest facts and trivia. This has been Richard Epcar. Thank you for joining me, and please join me on Twitter and Facebook.